Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the 105 leFH18B2, the French Tier 5 Premium SPG that we know and love as VP La Pew Pew, or you might know it as the VP La Pew Pew, but other people know it as the leFH or the Leaf Blower. This one is on the north spawn of Widepark, and it's under the command of graldebarantauro. Or is it? Okay, well, we've started the game, but the name of the player is wrong. I've been getting it wrong all this time. In actual fact, the name of the player is graldebarantauro. You see, the thing is that the person who actually gave it the name of this account is a solar scientist, so he knows a bit about stars. And Aldebaran is a huge red giant star in the constellation of Taurus. And that's where you get the name from. GR is for Grand Red, and Aldebaran is the name of the star, and Toro is the constellation it's in. And that's how he got the name of the account. Now he's got a 105mm howitzer, and he's going to use it now on this Matilda Black Prince, who starts taking damage straight away. First shot goes in. I think he only got a critical hit out of that one, but he fires the next one in, and he definitely did track the guy. You see his tracks have fallen off on one side. Okay, didn't get another shot on him. Looking around for another target. Now you can see one of the other tanks on his team is a bishop. And of course, both Artys are capable of fairly fast firing. The standard fire rate is 8.92 seconds, but you can see that Aldebaran, as we'll call him, has got a fire rate of 7.85. Now, he could reduce that even further. I know one player who's got a reload speed of just 7.1 seconds, or 7.01 seconds. Oh, look at this, rich pickings here. Wolverine rounds out, just goes over the top of him. He's dialing in for another shot. Let's see what he can do with the second one. Rounds out. And again, that tank pulls back, but it looked like it might have actually hit the Churchill. There are bots in this game as well. You can see the colons before the name and afterwards. Those are the bot tanks. The Churchills are bots. So's the Chinukai. And so is that Wolverine. He fires another one in. Well, the Chinukai moved position because he didn't hit anything with that shot. Okay. Lots of enemy tanks over that side of the map. You can see most of them have accumulated just around the bridge and on the far east side of the map, which means that our guys could zip over the center of the map and try and take the enemy cap, but they're not going to do that. Okay, we can see the Wolverine and the KV-1 are both taking cover behind those buildings, but this guy, the Chinukai, is not. Rounds out. Oh, that was a big hit, and it was a penetrating shot for 321. Okay, next shot, KV-1, trying to get a line up. Rounds out. Nope, didn't get that one. Okay, you can see he was actually backing up against the wall, and that actually raised the rear of the vehicle, which actually decreases the range that you have on the enemy. So it's best not to let your rear end go up, because if you do, it will drop your range. There's that Matilda Black Prince again. Lining the shots up. That looks good. Direct hit right on the turret. In fact, that was a penetrating shot. You got 446 for that one. The alpha is normally 410. So if you got 446, you've got a high roll. And you can see it actually hit the top of the turret. There's a hole just over the front of the top. And yeah, that's where the shell went in. Okay, who's next? Well, Widepark is one of the smaller maps on the game. It's supposed to represent Munich, actually. Wargaming has introduced other versions of the Widepark map for various celebrations, and it would be a good idea if they actually did change it around every now and then, and possibly change it to those celebratory maps, because they just had a bit of style, a bit of difference. He's not getting much from here. He's just under 1,000 hit points of damage. Oh, now this one might be worth it. He backed up for a moment, and unfortunately, when he backs up, he lost the chance to get that kill. Okay, who's next? It looks a fairly even battle so far for both sides. Oh, now we can hear the Arty shells coming in from the other side. The enemy team have got a Gorilla and an M41 HMC. And I have the feeling Aldebaran is going to try and shoot at the enemy tanks over on the east side of the map from this corner. And that will give him the clarity or the extra range. Not the extra range is probably not the best thing. Well, that Churchill just expired and he was taken out by the Bishop. No, give him the angles that he needs in order to get these guys. Chinukai fell short, just short of kill, and the M4A1 gets the kill shot. I think he got a side-on shot on that target. The bot backed up and the shell went right in and he's out the game. So still no kills at all for Aldebaran. Now it's highly likely there are still lots of enemy tanks over that side of the map. And in fact, there's only a Churchill one over on the west side of the map as far as we can see at the moment, but I think the Arty might be over on the west side. So he's styling in on the Wolverine, who's a one shot. Oh, and he missed out on that one too. The T67 gets the kill. Okay, KV1 hiding behind a building, and it is a real player, so he knows that the buildings will provide cover if Arty are actually firing in that general direction. Okay, he's popped back into view, so he came up. Almost get the feeling he's decided he's going to drive over there and find the enemy face to face. M4A1 just missed him. So close. Oh, the tree went down at the back. That may be the enemy M4 that we just saw. You can see even the Bishop has gone out into the open because he feels it's perfectly safe to do that, even though there's still 7 enemy tanks out there. In fact, 6 enemy tanks out there, not 7. Okay, well, we've got less hit points than the enemy, even though we've got one more tank. And another one bites the dust. In fact, it was one of ours. The Semovente was killed by the enemy M41 HMC. And the enemy Gorilla's just come into sight, and he's also moving across the map in the open. There he is. He's just been spotted behind the railway sheds. Rounds out. Oh, that was a good strike. 149 direct hits. Takes us over 1,000 hit points of damage already. Fires another one in there. No, didn't get that one either. Okay. As you may know, if you're a follower to our channel, the 105mm light field howitzer was the most produced Arty in the Second World War for the Germans. Not the 88mm. That was a flat gun that was actually converted to anti-tank use and had to have specialized crews in order to operate it, because when it wasn't temperamental, it was it had to be aimed very accurately, because it was a difficult beast to control. I wouldn't say temperamental, it's just complicated, but definitely the 105mm was very accurate, and the Germans had plenty of them. The design dates back to the First World War. It was, that's where the 18 in the name actually comes from, the design date. But some people actually suggest that in actual fact, oh, this could be good, fires it in, gets a hit on the rear, that they actually did, because of the Treaty of Versailles, that the Germans actually did do design work during the period when they were not supposed to be doing any design work, and actually just referred to the new designs under the old names. So they suggested that these vehicles were actually designed much earlier than they actually were designed. The example for this is some of the tanks that the Germans produced, the Gross tractor, which was actually named after a farming implement, when actually in fact it was designed during the interwar period, and Germany wasn't supposed to have any tanks at all during that period. And so they renamed it, or gave it a different name to conceal its true identity. Good strike there on the rear of the KV-1. Okay, so there's only 3 enemies left. They've lost one of their Arty. The gorilla was lost. The M41 HMC is still alive. Oh, that one hit the KV-1 on the rear, tracked him. See, oh, there's the, it's got a hole in the turret as well. One of the rounds hit that. That might have been Aldebaran. So 5 against 3 at the moment. But they still have that KV-1. And they also have this M4A1. And, well, he's fairly healthy. Just narrowly missed him. Can we get an accurate shot? He's probably still there. Yep, we get a direct hit. But I have the feeling he wants to get closer to the enemy, or at least get a better angle on them. The game is running out of time. We're down to 4 minutes 20 seconds. And there's still 3 enemies out there. There might be somebody up this end of the map. More than likely, one of the Arties might be, well, the M41 might be up here. And the reason I say that is that normally Arties will stay on the back row of the map, on the street at the back of the map, or they might come up this end because you get some great angles on the enemy from over in this corner. The only problem being that if the enemy gets too close, then they can spot you and take you out. Okay, let's see what he can do. M4. Oh, that was close. That was the Bishop. Lines it up. Rounds out. That's a very final end for the M4A1. A very good hit. Right on the engine deck. And that is the first kill for Aldebaran. Yeah, he hasn't had any kills up until now, but he's racked up 1,300. And there is an M41 up here. He wasn't exactly where I thought he was, but he was close. He's auto-aimed on, I think. Lined it up. And he takes him out with 1 round. The M41 knew we were here as well. He saw us, but we managed to get the kill on him. Now, there's only 1 enemy left, and that's the KV-1 that we saw earlier. And unfortunately, that building is getting in the way. There's no way we can get a shot over there. You see, we've got a red line. In fact, now at the moment, there it is. There's the red line. So he can't shoot when there's a red line. Something's in the way that's blocking the shot. In fact, he's trying to get higher, and I can see the logic in that, because the higher you are, the more likely you're going to be able to fire the shell over the tops of the buildings and have the shell drop down on top of the target. But he can't be sure that he's going to be able to do it, because those buildings have a habit of getting in the way. Okay, so will this work? Can he get a shot in there? Can he see the KV-1? Well, nobody's close enough to see where that KV-1 is now. So even if we were to get a shot in, and you can see that there's a crater, shell crater, on the road nearby. And there's the 2-minute warning. And we're right up against the edge of the map at the moment. I'm not so sure that he would have been able to drop the shell in there. Now, the Churchill 1 and the Matilda 4 are both bots. So, yeah, we've got a bit of a problem. Those guys are not going to go in and spot on their own, and we need the Bishop to move up and try and find the enemy, because the Matilda 4 and the Churchill are certainly not going to do that on their own. We're trying to get closer to see if we can spot him. Let's see what we can do. Oh dear! Back up, back up. Well, we did get spotted, and the KV-1's being driven by a real player. And what Aldebaran's doing at the moment is trying to back himself up into a position where he can shoot over this rubble into the enemy tank. Okay, lines it up. This is going to be fun, because he's the one, the only one at the moment, who can actually get a shot, and this is the Bishop. First shot, hits the target, tracks the... Has it tracked him? Not sure if it has tracked the target, but it certainly looks as if it might. Fires his next round in, gets another hit. This is where the reload comes crucial. And another hit. So he's keeping the tracking going on. The Bishop's moved up. He's found the target, but the KV-1 will be able to see him now, and he's going to start taking damage. There's one of the shots from the Bishop. The Bishop just received a shot from the KV-1. And there's another hit. We're down to 20 seconds left in the game. He's still healthy, and he's moving now. We need to get a shot in there quick to track him. If only one of the other tanks would shoot him. And the Matilda's coming up behind him, but he's a bot. We fire another shell in. We're just seconds away. Oh, the Matilda mucks it up. And we've drawn. Here's the end of battle result. And that was the first class tanker for Aldebaran in the 105 leFH18B2. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits in this one. He managed to get 16. He also got a high caliber in the game for getting the highest damage in the game, at least 20% of the enemy hit pool. And we can't see the win 8 because this has been uploaded to what replays, I'm afraid. But it was a draw because we ran out of time, and the bot, the Matilda Black Prince on our team, did not shoot round the corner and get an accurate hit to help us win the game. So rather sad that in the end that we lost out in getting a win by virtue of the fact that we've got an incapable, or it wasn't a Matilda Black Prince, it was Matilda 4, because we've got an incapable player. If we look at the damage, we can see that Aldebaran didn't get the highest damage in the game, even though he got the high caliber. The Churchill 1 on the enemy team got 3,365 hit points, whereas Aldebaran got 2,449. So he did get a high damage. But what must have happened is the Churchill 1, who was a real player on the enemy team, must have shot one of his own teammates and was automatically disqualified from getting the high caliber. And the next highest player in damage, who happened to have 20% of the enemy hit pool, turned out to be Aldebaran. And so he was awarded the high caliber because of the Churchill 1 shooting one of his own teammates. So the answer to that one is don't shoot your teammates. It costs you medals. When it came to kills, we can see 3 tanks managed to get the high score. The Bishop on our team, the Churchill 1 on our team, and the Churchill 1 on the enemy team. So he's got the highest damage and highest number of kills. And yeah, we get the medal. And when it came to base XP, we can see that it's actually the Churchill 1 on the enemy team who scores the highest. He got 842, thanks to all that damage he did. And the second highest turned out to be the Churchill 1 on our team with 637. And then we've got Aldebaran with 631. He was joint second on kills, by the way, as well. So, yes, rather unusual that an enemy tank, not a losing tank, because of course it was a draw, but an enemy tank comes off with all the tops in the columns, but it's Aldebaran who picks up the high caliber. Very nice, but let's have a look at detail. He fired 33 rounds, so he still had 17 rounds available at the end of the game. He got 19 direct hits and 4 penetrations, 15 splash, damage of 2,449 hit points, of which 1,910 were at more than 300 meters. He spotted 1 enemy vehicle that I think was the M41 HMC, damaged 7 of the enemy, killed 2, and on a free-to-play account, he actually earned a profit of 32,385 credits from the game, and he also took away 1,422 experience points. So yes, it was a draw. I think this is another case where it is actually quite handy to have heat rounds available at the end of the game, or at least to have some available, because if he'd actually used heat rounds on that KV-1, even if he'd fired all of the heat rounds, I think he stood a pretty good chance of one of them actually penetrating that Churchill, that KV-1, and he might have won the game with a heat round. So yes, I think under those circumstances, it would have been better than the HE. But anyway, it was a good game. It was an interesting game. And it was nice to see that Aldebaran actually did go forward. He used his W key. He went forward to find the enemy and kill them face to face if he had to, because he was the only one who had the view range to spot the enemy and then deal with them. And nobody else was willing to go forward, or at least the bots weren't willing to risk themselves. So it's a nice game. But it's not the only game that we've got for you. Not in this video. I'm afraid those ones are going to follow in the next video and the video after. Because I thought they ought to have their own video each because they're so good. So do stick around to our channel and you'll get to see those games. If you enjoyed this one, please give it a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below, and thank you for watching.